Hey, not bad, Philly, not bad. Feel a little bit better than I did a few days ago. That is pretty damn good work by Philadelphia right here. Welcome to the Riding the Bench Eagles podcast. I'm Asif Badi. Kellen Moore. That's the news around Philadelphia right now. Kellen Moore is the offensive coordinator for Philadelphia. So let's just put this into perspective, guys. The past few days, we had the debacle of a press conference with Howie, Roseman, and Nick Sirianni. And then in response to that, they bring in Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore as the OC and DC. We already did an episode on Vic Fangio as DC and why I felt like it was of a hire, but I understand why they brought him in. He was the guy they originally wanted. The assistant coaches that he's bringing in seem to be really good potential hires. So coaching from top to bottom on the defensive side of the ball is going to take a step up. On the offensive side of the ball now was the big question mark in Philadelphia. But now we know who's going to call plays, and that is Kellen Moore. And before Philadelphia Eagle fans get into a bind about how he was a Dallas Cowboy and now we're bringing him into Philadelphia, let me just tell you all to shut the hell up. That is literally the stupidest thing you could think of when bringing in a coach. I don't care if he coached for Satan. I don't give a damn who the guy is. If he can coach, bring him in and let him coach. And there's one thing that Kellen Moore can do that nobody in the National Football League can say is that the guy can coach. It ain't like the guy isn't good at what he does. Guy can call a damn game. And that's something that we need in Philadelphia. And let's take a look at what he did with the Cowboys and his last stint with the Chargers here. He was hired as coordinator in 2019 for the Dallas Cowboys. And these are the offensive rankings that they were under his stewardship from 2019 to 22. They were ranked 6th in offense. And in the year where they sustained a lot of injuries on the starting unit for the offense, they ranked 17th and went 8-8. So yes, not the greatest sign, but injuries were part of that. And then with a healthy roster, they were ranked 1st in offense. And then the year after that, they were ranked 4th. And in the year that they ranked 1st, Dak Prescott threw damn near 40 touchdowns. Or he threw for 40 touchdowns. So his Cowboys stint was really damn good work. And in that stint, they had Cooper Rush as a quarterback, and they went 4-1 with him. While we gave credit to Mike McCarthy, Kellen Moore was calling those damn plays too. And went 4-1 in the year 22 with Cooper Rush as starter, creating a pseudo-controversy with the Dallas quarterbacking room. And then with the Chargers, he ranked 21st, but that was also with a lot of injuries and the worst defense maybe in the NFL. Probably worse than Philadelphia. And that just gives you an idea of what was going on with the Chargers. So listen, the important thing that a lot of people looked at with Kellen Moore is what he does pre-snap. And I believe he was ranked 6th in pre-snap motion for the Chargers this past season. And the Eagles were, as we all know, literally ranked last in pre-snap motion as an offense, especially in a league where defenses are disguising coverages. Listen, when it comes to creativity and innovation and this idea of the Eagles offense becoming stale again, I don't think that's going to be the case with Kellen Moore calling the plays. You didn't have that issue with Kellen Moore in Dallas. You didn't have it with the Chargers. So the offense isn't necessarily going to become stale. Is it more of a pass-happy offense to my liking? Yes, it is. But it's not like Kellen Moore didn't run the football. I mean, in the average, 4 years he was coordinator, I believe he was averaging, 130 yards a game in terms of rushing yards calling the offense? He had 134 and 19, 112. Again, that was the Ezekiel Elliott injuries and the Dak Prescott injuries. They were ranked 112. Then they ran for 125 yards and then 135 yards the year afterwards. So, in terms of being able to run the football, it's not like Kellen Moore didn't call running plays. You know, like they were like a top 10 rushing offense. Which again, if you combine a top 10 rushing offense with an uptick at quarterback play, which I'm going to expect with Kellen Moore and Jalen Hurts, and we'll get to that in a moment, you have a pretty good makings for a damn good offense. And if you're expecting a step up on the defensive side of the ball, which I'm going to expect with Vic Fangio and a veteran presence on the defensive side of the ball, calling plays and coaching, all of a sudden Philadelphia seems to be in a really much better position than they were just a few days ago. Again, with the debacle of a press conference that we saw with Sirianni and Howie Roseman, I felt pretty damn shitty. And I still don't feel necessarily great about the direction of the team in terms of what's going on in the organization. But if you were to keep Nick Sirianni, which they are doing, the thing that Philadelphia Eagle fans wanted was to bring in two established coordinators and coaches to be on the staff. And with Vic Fangio on the defensive side of the ball and Kellen Moore now as our OC, that check mark has been fulfilled. What does this mean, though? For Jalen Hurts, does this mean a potential step back in terms of his maturation and his production as a QB? Because I've heard Eagle fans talk about how, Kellen Moore didn't even bring out the best of Dak Prescott. You just saw what he did with Mike McCarthy. You know what I also saw? I also saw Kellen Moore help coach the Dallas Cowboys further into the playoffs than they have over the past 30 years. Mike McCarthy was a one-and-go exit, just like Philadelphia was. Got their teeth kicked in by the Packers, as we got our teeth kicked in by the Buccaneers. So the idea that Kellen Moore doesn't know how to bring the best out of a QB, give me a break. We just saw what Jalen Hurts did with Brian Johnson and all these guys on the offensive side of the ball. We got nothing going on. The motion pre-snap, being a former player in the NFL, Kellen Moore is a big deal, especially to players. And also being a damn established coordinator who has cachet to back up whatever he calls, it's a very, very big thing for a coach coming in. And with Sirianni as head coach and him saying, I'm going to be taking a step back from the offensive side of the ball and just going back to being the head coach, while it wasn't the greatest response I heard, it's what he did in 2022. And another thing about the Kellen Moore hire is it's important to bring in a coach who we feel is going to be there for a good amount of time with Jalen Hurts. Because Jalen Hurts' career, he's had a different coordinator, a different play caller virtually every single year of his career, except with Shane Steichen. And we saw, as creative as Shane Steichen is, I think he's one of the best play callers in the National Football League, despite that. We saw what happens when Jalen Hurts has a coach for more than a year and a half. Kellen Moore, if he were to get a head coaching job, don't you think he would have gotten one by now with the work he did in Dallas? I know for damn sure I think he would have. So to me, it seems like Kellen Moore's a hire that's just going to be here for more than a year and a half. And if that's the case, that means Jalen Hurts is going to have continuity for more than a year and a half. He's going to have consistency for more than a year and a half. He's going to have a coordinator who speaks the same language as him for more than a year and a half. And that's a huge thing for a quarterback, let alone a QB like Jalen Hurts. You saw what coaching does to QBs. Coaching absolutely matters. And Kellen Moore being a replacement, for Brian Johnson and what Sirianni was meddling in on the offensive side of the ball is a significant upgrade. And while it's not exactly what Philadelphia was looking for in terms of a play caller, I'll be damned if I'm not happy with the Kellen Moore hire. It's certainly not bad. Can't get worse. It's a damn good hire. He's a damn good coach. And like I said, he's been in the National Football League before. He's going to be able to put guys in positions to make plays. And this is going to be an offense, the most talent that Kellen Moore has had. Even more so than what he had with the Dallas Cowboys. And with a quarterback who we've seen can go to a superstar level in Jalen Hurts. It's possible. It's in there. So this is a good sign for Philadelphia. I feel a lot better with where we're going as an organization than I was just a couple of days ago. And as the offseason continues, and now that we know the schedule, we'll talk about the schedule down the road. The schedule's lighter. The defense should get better with coaching, and the offense, it's pretty much established. And now that we have Kellen Moore, good things are to come. Should be a very, very interesting time in Philadelphia. And I know for damn sure I'm excited, and I can't wait to see what this offense is going to look like under the new offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles in Kellen Moore. Hey, you got through a full episode of the Riding the Bench Eagles podcast. Thank you for watching. If you want to support the channel, hit the like and subscribe button below. You can also check us out on Instagram at the Riding the Bench podcast with a K instead of C in the word podcast. And also check us out on audio platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, you name it, we're on there. All of that is in the description below. Please come back next time for the Riding the Bench Eagles podcast. Thanks for listening.